It was supposed to be a short ride, just a quick trip to the pharmacy while my ankle healed. My son, Darren, had insisted I stay at his house while I recovered from a minor fall. "It'll be easier for me to help you," he said. I had raised this boy on my own, worked 2 jobs to put him through college, and when I retired early, thanks to years of careful real estate investments, I thought maybe, just maybe, I could lean on him a little. Please subscribe to our channel and tell me in comments from where are you watching this video. But Darren didn't want a mother. He wanted a free housekeeper, a quiet babysitter, and a silent wallet. From the moment I moved into his sleek suburban house, I noticed the shift. His wife, Betrayal, barely looked at me. She called me the extra body. Their 2 sons dumped their toys on my bed. I cooked, I cleaned, I helped with homework, and still, it was never enough. Then came the moment that shattered everything. One Wednesday afternoon, Darren said, "Mom, I need to grab some gas and stop at the store. Ride with me, we'll talk." I smiled. My heart, tired but hopeful, warmed at the idea that maybe my son still wanted to connect. So I got in the car with my small purse. No phone, no cane, no jacket. He pulled into a dusty, half-abandoned gas station just outside of town. "Can you wait inside while I run in next door?" he asked. I nodded and stepped out. He never came back. I sat on the concrete bench for nearly an hour, asking passers-by if I could borrow a phone. One teenager offered to help. When I called Darren's number, it rang once before going straight to voicemail. The second time, it didn't ring at all. That's when I knew. I wasn't forgotten. I was left. When I finally made it back home, using cab fare offered by a kind stranger, I found the front door of Darren's house locked. My suitcase was on the porch. A note taped to the handle read, "Mom, it's not working out. You're better off in your own space." And just like that, the son I sacrificed my life for threw me away like I was a piece of burden. He didn't know I still owned something far more powerful than his cruelty: leverage. Because long before Darren learned to calculate taxes, I was building a real estate portfolio with 15 rental homes, 2 of which he didn't know I still owned under my LLC. And one of them was his. I sat in my tiny apartment, knees wrapped in an old quilt, sipping weak tea and staring at the eviction notice I was about to deliver. Not as a victim, but as the legal owner. The irony? Darren and Betrayal had no idea the house they were living in, the one they bragged about on social media with captions like "Our Forever Home," wasn't truly theirs. Years ago, when Darren asked for help with the down payment, I agreed, but through my LLC, not a gift. I paid the mortgage quietly, letting them believe they'd earned it. They just didn't read the fine print. Most people don't. When I was younger, I trusted too easily, gave away too much. Even to Darren, I used to say, "Take what you need, baby. I'll figure out the rest." But after being left at a gas station like a discarded sweater, I realized the only thing more dangerous than being underestimated is being undervalued by the wrong person. So I called my lawyer. I said, "It's time." We sent a formal notice to the tenants, Darren and Betrayal, informing them the lease was terminated due to breach of informal contract and unpaid back rent. They had 30 days to vacate. Within hours of receiving it, I got my first text in weeks. From Darren, "Mom, what the hell is this?" I didn't reply. 10 minutes later, "Is this some kind of sick joke? We live here." Then, "You're overreacting. You could have talked to me." Oh, now he wanted to talk, not when I sat outside a gas station crying into my hands, but when his perfect life began to shake. And then, Betrayal called me. "You've always been dramatic," she snapped. "You're just upset that we wanted our own space. Don't act like you're the victim. Darren said you were too needy." Too needy? I raised that boy on powdered soup and grace. I shielded him from eviction, from hunger, from every cruel corner of the world, and all it earned me was the title of a burden? I told her simply, "You have 27 days left." Days passed. I watched their Instagram slowly shift from sunny brunches to cryptic captions about life changes and unexpected transitions. Darren posted a GoFundMe titled "Trying to Save Our Home." Betrayal shared a reel of her crying on the front porch, claiming elder abuse. The comments exploded with sympathy. I never responded publicly. I didn't need to. Instead, I made one final move. I scheduled a tour of the house with potential buyers, a retired couple looking for a quiet place to settle near their grandchildren. I walked them through the home, calmly explaining, "It'll be vacant in 2 weeks." As we stepped into the nursery, I saw Brielle watching from the hallway, her face pale, her lips trembling. She whispered, "You're really going through with it?" I nodded. "I was locked outside a gas station for 4 hours, I said softly. "You're lucky I didn't list it on Airbnb while you slept." The look in her eyes was all the confirmation I needed. The day they were forced to move out was a quiet one. No yelling, no tears, no final desperate apologies. Just the sound of cardboard scraping across hardwood floors and the occasional angry whisper between Darren and Brielle as they shuffled out of what they once called their dream home. I watched it all from a distance, standing beside my real estate agent as she finalized papers with the new owners. The sun was warm that day. A rare kind of warmth that didn't sting but reminded you that something was finally over. Clean. Done. I thought maybe I'd cry. I didn't. Darren avoided eye contact the entire time. Not once did he look at me. Not even as he struggled to get his oversized TV into the back of Brielle's father's truck. I noticed the TV was cracked. Whether from the move or the fight they clearly had the night before, I didn't know, and I didn't care. As they drove away, Brielle flipped her sunglasses down and gave me one last look. I could tell what she wanted to say. Maybe something cruel. Maybe something manipulative. But in the end, she just looked tired. She rolled up the window and left. And just like that, it was done. But the story doesn't end there. You see, I didn't just reclaim the house. I reclaimed me. In the weeks that followed, I transformed the place. New paint, new light, new energy. I donated all the leftover furniture, everything that carried the weight of their entitlement, and replaced it with things that made me smile. A lemon yellow sofa, soft cream curtains. A reading nook in the corner where the baby's crib used to be, now stacked with poetry books and records. I started hosting monthly brunches with other women my age, women who had also been left behind by their families, used for what they had, then tossed aside. We called ourselves the Forgotten Mothers Club. But it didn't feel sad. It felt like a revolution. We laughed. We shared stories. We drank sangria on Saturdays and played vinyl records from our youth, dancing barefoot in the kitchen like teenagers again. One day, at one of those brunches, I showed them the letter Darren had sent me. Yes, he sent a letter. It came a month after they moved out, scribbled in haste with coffee stains and crossed out words. He apologized for the gas station, for the lies, for the years of taking me for granted. He said they were staying with Brielle's cousin in a cramped one-bedroom and that life had really humbled him. He ended it with, "I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but if there's any chance, any way we could talk, just once, I'd like to try again. As your son." I didn't reply. I folded the letter and tucked it into the back of my poetry book. Some bridges deserve to stay burned, not out of spite, but to light the way forward. A few days later, I stood in the doorway of my new sunroom, the one that used to be Darren's man cave. The walls were now painted a soft sage, with plants lining the windowsills. I watched the rain hit the glass, holding a cup of peppermint tea, feeling nothing but calm. And then the call came. It was from a young woman named Camila. She was a college student, single mom, and part-time waitress. I had met her through my real estate mentoring program, and she had just closed on her first starter home with my help. She called to thank me, crying with gratitude, said I gave her hope again, said she wished she had a mom like me. That's when I really cried. Not because I was sad, but because, for the first time in a long time, I felt seen. Not as a burden, not as a bank account, not as an inconvenient woman in the background of her son's life, but as a person, a woman. A warrior who turned heartbreak into healing and betrayal into a beginning. I looked around the room and whispered to myself, peace and quiet. Finally. And this time, no one had to lock me away to get it. I earned it, I owned it, and I wasn't giving it back. Please subscribe to our channel and tell me in comments from where are you watching this video.